Week 3 NFL review as a Falcons fan, and well, not this week. Not this week. We went to the Chiefs and the Falcons game on Sunday night. So let's talk about a few things here. One, I'm not going to blame the refs. We're not doing that. We're not doing that because so much happened after, like, the pass interference, right? So much happened after that. There were some makeup calls, had the chance for the ball. Lots went on there. A couple things I saw, especially sitting up where I could really see the field, because that's how I like to watch the games in person. Maybe you're a different person. That's where I like to be. Did not love the play calling, kind of across the board from like the second quarter through the third quarter. Very predictable looks. Very easy to tell what was going on. Credit to the Chiefs defense, though, playing super good. Super good, right? But the big thing obviously comes down to the end of the game, right? Let's talk about the end of the game, because it's the most important part. Falcons calling a timeout. So dumb. It literally removes so much chance that you have. Like, if you don't get the first down, you're done. The game's over. The game is over. You called the timeout to run Algier for no gain. Okay, all right, that's fine. And then we find out afterwards that Cousins sort of made the play call at the line, or changed the call at the line on the Bijan run. And that's one of those things where, like, hey, the timeouts, they don't even matter now. So use another one. If you don't like what you see, use one. Use one, because I hate stretch calls. I hate big outside runs on a 4th and inches, because it was inches. It was real close. And yes, if it would have worked, we'd be like, oh, it was a good play call. So it still doesn't make it a good play call. Whether it succeeds or it doesn't succeed, it could still be a bad play call. What makes it so bad, so much worse, is that if you had someone in there to block for Bijan, it was Tyler Algier as the lead blocker. He's not a fullback. He's not a big blocker, right? If you go back, and especially like in real time, it's really hard to tell. I go back and I watch it. Nick Bolton makes an incredible play. Okay, fantastic play by him. Played a great game. He just doesn't block him, right? Now, if you're gonna do something like that, the player who has been just physical with their blocking is Bijan, right? I still would have preferred something up the middle. But if that's the play call, Algier's the wrong guy in there. He's the wrong guy in there. A running back is a lead block against a goal line set. It's a terrible play call. Really bad. And that's where my focus is at the end of the game, right? All the other stuff, everything before that, it all builds to a moment, right? What about a pass interference here? What if Mahomes didn't just miss wide open drags? I don't know. We don't talk about that. We only talk about the one thing that finished the game. It was a terrible play call. Kirk made the call. I hated it. I hated it in person. I hated it even more watching it back. So frustrating. The Falcons are close. Right? You can see that they're close. That they're getting better. They're getting a little more comfortable with everything. But it doesn't matter. Close doesn't count. You're 1-2. You're not 1-1 with a maybe. I've never seen a moral victory. I don't see that in the win column. It doesn't happen. You had a chance to win the game, and you blew it. Twice, in fact. It's technically true. Technically twice. It sucks. I'm glad that we didn't get blown out on national TV. I can take positives away from it as a fan, but I don't think the team can take positives away, because at the end of the day, you lost on a bad play call. Did not love a lot of it. The defense, and like the switch happened when the defense was on the field constantly. After like the first drive, the defense was on the field like forever. And we needed longer offensive drives to get them some rest. Obviously, there were some injuries to the line. Again, it's just part of the game. It happens. But once the defense was able to get some rest, they really locked down. In the fourth quarter, I believe we outgained the Chiefs 132-3. 132-3. 0 points. Just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Now you got the Saints. I don't know how that one's going to go. I hate losing to the Saints, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, every week's a new week, right? There were flashes of, oh man, this could be a really good team. There were flashes of the Steelers game. There were flashes of the Eagles game. I still don't know what the Falcons really are. I don't. We saw a lot more pistol this week. I don't know why. I'm sure they have their reasons. But again, it was like this week was a mix of some Philly, some Steelers game plan. And it was clear at a certain point that it wasn't really, really working. And again, as good as the Falcons moved the ball in the fourth quarter, we did have some penalties to help out. Yeah, we should, maybe the pass interference, sure. There was penalties on the final drive. Some that real close calls. Again, I feel like they were makeup calls, and that's fine. And, you know, at the moment when the Pitts pass interference wasn't called, still don't know how that's not called. I was blaming the refs, right? But I take that blame away when we had a chance. So we'll see how next week goes. I have my positives. I'm happy that we played Mahomes very well. And I have my negatives of clock management, poor play calls, poor calls on some of these screens, a 2-on-1 screen to McLeod or Mooney multiple times. Just, you can tell it's not quite there. It's just not quite there yet. You better not lose to the Saints. Let's talk about the rest of the games. Gentlemen, we had a fantastic week on PrizePicks this past football. I was going to call it football week in college and NFL. Couple wins that we had here. Had quite a few more. Quite a few real close ones too that could have been really, really nice. But that's okay. We do have more this week. Again, if you want to try out PrizePicks, check it out today. Go ahead, use code CC. Download the app. You can use the link in the description or just go to your app store. And again, when you use code CC, you'll get $50 free credit as soon as you make your first lineup. That's all you got to do. That's pretty simple. And then you'll be on there. Again, I have a lot of my plays. They'll be over on Twitter or X, right? Just look, search, you'll see it on there very, very easily. And again, this week we have another Caleb Williams free square that you need to use by Sunday. So please make sure you do that. Again, he has to pass for 1 yard. And you can mark that one green. Not bad at all. Again, if you're wondering, can you play in your state? Little map right here. Go check that out. Thank you so much for all your support, boys. Take care. Good luck on everything this week. Remember, Tuesdays are Taco Tuesdays. Fridays are Flex Fridays. Those are your special days. You want to make sure you come back for those ones. Use code CC. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the video. All right. Well, we just watched the Bills dismantle the Jaguars. Bills look fantastic. And the Jags look really bad. Jags look really, really, really bad. A couple little takeaways here. One, Josh Allen's obviously not missing Stephon Diggs. He's getting the ball around. He's spreading the ball around. Fantastic. Minor things about the Jags here. They get in their own way. I feel like the coaching just isn't really there right now. And again, that's minor things. So like when they were down 27, right? And they had a 4th and goal from the 17. And they went for it, right? And I know it's like, well, you're down 27. You got to score points. Well, the way I always look at it is not necessarily how many points you're down, unless it's, you know, a significant number, like you're down 6. So like you need 7 based on the clock. But a field goal makes it a 3-possession game. And you still have some life. You're probably not going to win, but you have some life. So do you kick the field goal and stay alive, or you go for a 4th and 17? They went for a 4th and 17. Dumb. It's just dumb. I know like it wouldn't make a lot of sense, but from math, it makes sense. Commanders, Jaden Daniels looks so good right now. He looks so good in this game. Finally was able to put the ball in the end zone. Been waiting to see it. I thought he was definitely going to do it against the Giants. Does not do it against the Giants. They do it here. The game ended up being really close. Washington was sort of in command, no pun intended, basically the whole game. They weren't sure what they wanted to do. The clock, essentially, is what it looked like. Brian Robinson just didn't really get a lot of the ball. Bengals were doing a good job defending the run, sort of saying, hey, Jaden Daniels, you can't beat us on the pass. And it's very clear and obvious to me, the Bengals completely missing Jesse Bates right now. Completely missing. Bears, Colts. At this point, Caleb had a statistically better game, so that's cool. That's great, right? We love to see that. But you got to beat you got to beat these teams. The Colts aren't very good. And the Bears aren't very good. They're just not. They're not. Still very early. It's still very, very early. The Bears can't run the ball at all. The offensive line sucks. Big issue. That's a massive issue. So we'll see. We'll see if it's a long season, right? I'm not thinking playoffs for either of those teams. Broncos at Bucks. So the score surprises me. Denver winning surprises me. I'm not surprised that Baker had a tough time. Denver, Baker loves to go to Mike Evans. And Surtain comes out there, does his thing. Didn't obviously see a lot of this game. They don't really know if anyone's really watching Broncos Bucks. But surprising result. Bo Nix apparently played well. Good for them. Fantastic. Packers, Titans. Again, the Titans are really bad. I don't know how they're this bad. Is it just Levis? It has to just be Levis, right? Malik Willis, who was an inept quarterback in Tennessee, played well. He played well. The Packers are winning without Jordan Love. And it's not that not the two hardest games in the world, but it's the NFL. If you can get wins with your backup coming in, and especially in a game where Josh Jacobs wasn't him, fantastic. Texans and Vikings. Obviously, it's clear that Sam Darnold played well, right? We see the numbers. I think there's two things in this game that really changed it. One, Stroud going against Flores is tough. Vikings defense is playing. They're playing right now. They're scheming, and no Joe Mixon really does hurt. It really hurt. Right? It's time. The CJ Stroud's gonna have some bad games and all that. But credit to the Vikings, the coaching staff, Sam Darnold playing well. What? There's nothing more you can want. They're the biggest surprise of the season to me, for sure. Whoa! Too far, buddy. Chargers and Steelers. Herbert goes down. I figured this was going to be a really low scoring game. It was a really low scoring game. But once Herbert if Herbert can't play, the Chargers are done. Heineke's he can't, trust me. I saw him play a lot. He's not going to help you guys out. Unfortunate. Hopefully Herbert's not injured. Justin Fields in the Arthur Smith offense commands it as his best game as a Steeler for sure. They did everything they needed to. They outclocked Harbaugh. That's just the way it is. Giants, Browns. I actually did get to watch basically this entire game here. And Daniel Jones played very well. Malik Neighbors was really good at football. But the story for me here, the Giants defense is actually really good, right? We see that last week they held Washington. So it's not a lot of points. Was it 6 or 7 field goals, essentially? And this week, again, I don't think the Browns offensively are very good. But we saw Washington put up 38 on Cincinnati. And the Giants only gave up 21 offensive points to the Vikings, who have now put up big numbers against the Niners and the Texans. The Giants defense is actually pretty good. Their front four is fantastic. They're just missing a quarterback. Even though Danny played well, the Giants with the quarterback could be a decent team. Eagles and Saints. For the longest time here, really bad coaching, really bad play calling that happened, and then it just switched. They weren't giving Saquon the ball. Sirianni was passing up field goals in a 3-0 game. Like he's such an idiot sometimes, but it ends up working out. Massive play at the end to Goddard, massive run by Saquon, and then Derek Carr played like the Derek Carr that we all know. Well, we all know. 1 week too early, though. I need him to suck next week. We'll see. I figure Kamara has a big game against the Falcons next week. Bryce Young, right? Bryce Young's just not very good right now. I'm not gonna say he's not very good. I'm just saying he's not very good right now. There's something clearly wrong when Andy Dalton comes in and just moves the ball. I knew he was gonna do good in this game. I had him on my PrizePicks lineups. We were right. Well, I was right. Again, I didn't feel like the Raiders were as good as they obviously looked against Baltimore. Baltimore has a problem with blowing leads. More about that obviously soon. The Panthers, not a very talented team, but when you have when you have the quarterback advantage in the game, because he is a better quarterback than Garden Mushroom and Aiden O'Connell, it works. It works. They did good. Dolphins, Seahawks, again, it's hard. No Tua. Skylar Thompson sucks. And yeah, I think Seattle's pretty good. I think they're being super well coached right now. I think they have a ton of talent. It's the coaching. I really think the coaching is bringing out the best in that team. They're winning the games that they need to win. They haven't had the hardest schedule. But again, we talk about this all the time with the NFL. They haven't played anyone. But they're winning, so that's totally fine. It's completely fine, right? You have to win those games, and they're doing it. Again, similar fashion. The Falcons, it's not like we've lost to bad teams. We've lost to the 3-0 Chiefs, the 3-0 Steelers, and we beat the 2-1 Eagles. So without us, the teams we would have played would have been 9-0. Okay? So again, you got to beat who's in front of you. Ravens, Cowboys, watched quite a bit of this in the second half through the tailgate. Dallas, get out of your own way. And apparently all you have to do is run the ball on them. Frustrating. But then again, we see Dallas puts up 19 in the fourth. The Ravens have a massive problem there. Their defense isn't really what it used to be. Feels like coaching and scheme potential there because they still have a lot of talent. But this is multiple weeks in a row. Their fourth quarter is just not good. They better get it together. I know they're 1-2. Congratulations on the win. That division is still open because it's just Pittsburgh in front, right? And then they're 3-0. How long are we trusting the Arthur Smith offense out there? I don't know, but you gave up a lot at the end of that game. Not good. Lions, Cardinals. The biggest thing I saw, I did not watch this one. Biggest thing I saw was there was the phantom pick six that happened. That should have been a pick six, but it wasn't a pick six. I don't know. I expected a little more out of this game. I just did. They scored on a hook and ladder, right? Niners, Rams. I know. But the Niners were missing a bunch of people. I understand that. But so were the Rams. I would venture to say the Rams were more hurt because they have worse backups here. And they beat the Niners. And this is one of those things like, it was like, oh, Brock Purdy, he's got to do it without all these all pros. And he still played well enough. But you can't lose that game. You can't lose that game. You still out talent them in 17 of the 22 spots on the field. You can't lose that game. You just can't. And then we said Chiefs and Falcons, which was its own disappointment. And then we had one game, Patriots and the Jets. The Patriots just not very good at football this year. That's okay. That's fine. Stevenson got hurt. Brissett got blitzed constantly. It is that's a tough game. That is a tough game. Rodgers, home game. One thing I didn't really like with the Jets that they did, I still don't feel like their offense is really clicking. I feel like they're still trying to figure that out. And it gets masqueraded by the fact that they're like up in this game and winning in this game, and it's comfortable. That there was still moments of like, I don't think this should have been 24-3. This should have been 35-3, 38-3 sort of game. So it still didn't feel like they completed the game enough. considering how they dominated. When I think of a team dominating the game, a game that was never in doubt, and I see you only have 24 points, it's a massive difference. When you look at what the Bills did, putting up 47 in a very, like, there's different types of dominating. You can dominate and be like, oh, they were in control this whole game. But if the Patriots were any bit better, a pass here, small little things. I'm not saying that they would have won the game, but there's still something slightly missing with the Jets on offense. And maybe that's just Rodgers getting back into things. We'll find out. But that's my take on all the NFL that happened this weekend. Next weekend should be very, very, very interesting. Adding quick predictions at the end of the videos now, because why not, right? All right, let's see here. Giants, Cowboys. I have no faith in the Giants winning this game. I know that the Cowboys have obviously not played well the last 2 weeks. The Giants don't beat the Cowboys. It just doesn't happen. Not betting advice or anything. Just my own personal picks. Cowboys and the points. Cowboys and 4.5. Bengals and Panthers. Andy Dalton, while a good quarterback, the Bengals really, they're not losing this game. But the points, yeah, I'll take the Bengals and the points there. Broncos and Jets -7. This one feels odd to me. I would take the Broncos +7 in this one. I feel like it is going to be a close game. I feel like the Broncos can do enough to keep the Jets offense honest. I don't know how many points the Broncos can score, but this also feels like an under game to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm not very good at that part. Jags at Texans. Give me the Texans -4.5. The Jags just not very good. I know it's a division game. It is what it is. The Bears are favored against the Rams. The Rams just beat the Niners, and they're dogs against the Bears. Really? I feel like Caleb's got to have a good game at some point. I feel like he does. I feel like this might be the time, because the Bears defense is good enough to hold the Rams offense down. I think this is probably one of the worst defenses that the Bears have faced yet. So I think the Bears win. I don't know about the points. Vikings and Packers. Again, the Vikings just keep winning. This game all depends if Jordan Love plays or not. So we don't know if he's playing. So that number could change based on all that. So I'm just not going to touch that game. Saints and Falcons. Falcons are favored. Should we be favored? I think they actually should be favored at home. Obviously, these are all going to be really, really difficult sort of games. It's a massive rivalry. This feels like one of those games where Bijan, who does not go over 100 yards rushing very often, it feels like he goes over 100, but it also feels like Kamara goes over 100 as well. It feels like it's going to be a very low scoring sort of game. I think the defenses on both sides are better than the offenses on both sides. I really, really do. Because I think their offenses are actually kind of similar. And it's not really what people would want to hear. Bias aside, I'll take the Falcons at -1.5. I think they just win barely. Eagles and Bucks. Again, Bucks +2.5. I don't know if they win outright. I think what the Bucks do good, the Eagles also do good, and that's like that canceling there is wrong. And I'm not holding the Broncos game against the Bucks. I'm not. The Eagles, outside of the game in Brazil week 1, they just haven't looked explosive. Will they give the ball to Saquon enough? Can they run the ball in the Bucks? We'll find out. Steelers and Colts. This ugly game. I'll take the Steelers and the points. I think that they pulled this out. Still, I don't think Richardson is going to have a very fun time against TJ Watt and friends. TJ Watt is so good at football. It's crazy. Patriots, Niners, -10. It's such a big line for a team missing so many people. I'm not touching that. Commanders and Cardinals. Again, very surprised in the Cardinals. 5.5 here. I figure that line moves. Right now, you would have to take the Commanders +5.5. I don't feel that that's where it's going to be come Sunday, but hey, that's where it is now. Browns and Raiders. I think the Browns win this one. I think that the Raiders are just not as good. I just don't think they're as good. The quarterbacks are kind of similar at this point. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like the Browns and Raiders is a really ugly game. Chiefs Chargers, again, if Herbert's out, that's ball game. So I wouldn't touch that one. Not knowing who's going to play, who's not going to play. Bills and Ravens. The Ravens are 2.5 at home, which is crazy to me. Fantastic Sunday night game. Cannot wait to watch this one. I can't go against the Bills right now. I'll take the Bills and the points. Give me the Bills and the points at this point. The Ravens defense has looked suspect for sure. What they do well, I think the Bills can stop them doing it. I think they can. I think the Bills are just a better version of the Ravens right now. Quite simple. Titans and Dolphins, again, who plays quarter? Is Huntley better play? He better play. I'm avoiding that one as well, just because it's ugly. And then another double Monday nighter, Seahawks and Lions. Looks like a fantastic game here. I would actually take the Seahawks +4 here. I think that their coaching has been fantastic. I know I said it before. They look really good. Their talent actually matches up very, very well. And they're going to be able to do the right things. If Walker's still out, that does hurt them a little bit here. And I don't think the Lions have actually looked fantastic. They don't. The Lions have not looked fantastic this year like they did last year. Give me the Seahawks +4. Don't bet on those things. I'm not very good at that part. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.